Joining us now, Arizona Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. Good morning, Congresswoman. How are you?
Mike, hope you're doing well and hope your listeners are doing well.
I am, very interested in what happened with you. The information you put out on Twitter was very useful to a lot of people. Can you explain what happened when you went down to State Farm Stadium and the vaccine?
You bet. I took my 91-year-old mother and her friend. My husband and I drove them down to their appointment at State Farm Stadium for their first vaccination shot. And it went very smoothly. I mean, we got there. They told us to be there about 15 minutes early. We even got there a little bit earlier because traffic was good. We went in a line. They asked for our online confirmation numbers for my mom and her friend. They wrote it on the windshield. Then split us into, it snaked around for a while, the car line, and then they split us into multiple lines going to about 10 different tents. Then they asked some questions. They asked the date of birth of my mom and her friend, who were both sitting in the back seat. We were all wearing masks. They got their shot right there in the car. In the arm, and then they told us to park for 30 minutes to watch my mom and her friend, and they came up a couple times, asked how they were feeling, and within 53 minutes from arrival, we were done. It was great. It was easy. It was fast. It was organized.
And when you went through the process, were you offered the vaccine, even though you're not in that age group yet?
We were. My husband and I were offered the vaccine, and we declined, thought that, we hadn't read any articles previously, so I was a little confused why they would offer us the vaccine, so we didn't feel it was appropriate. We're like, well, we're not 75 or older, and we're not in that phase. We're not healthcare workers or anything like that, so we declined because we thought, well, we don't want to take somebody else's vaccine. But since then, I saw Dr. Christ had said that they determine on a case-by-case basis, I guess, if they have leftover vaccine where people didn't show up or something, and they offer it to the people sometimes that are driving in the car. We didn't know that, but, we didn't feel comfortable doing that, so we declined.
How do you feel about that? Do you think it's a good idea to expedite vaccinating people? If you're there, you might as well get the vaccine, or do you think they should be saving this vaccine for the people in this demographic so they don't run out?
Oh, boy, I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know all the facts, I trust Dr. Chris. I've known her quite some time. She was there when I was in the Arizona State Senate, and I think she's very well qualified and can make good decisions. So I trust her. I trust what she does.
All right, so let's shift to the inauguration of the new president. He used the word unity so many times. That was the theme of the speech. Said he was going to work as hard for people that didn't vote for him as people that did vote for him. From what you're seeing of the policies of this administration so far, are they going to be a moderate administration, or do you think he's going to go pretty hard to the left?
Well, I watched the speech, and the speech was good, but of course we know that speechwriters write speeches, and I assume that he read it from a teleprompter, so the speech was good. Although he put a couple jabs in there talking about telling the truth versus lies and that type of thing. But, actions are more telling than speeches, than talk. And so when he's not going to stop this impeachment. So if he really wanted unity, he would tell the Democrat leaders in Congress to stop the impeachment. I mean, Trump is already gone. It's moved on. It's a totally political impeachment. They didn't even give the president any due process in the House at all. There's no need to impeach him. Yet he says, oh, I'll just let the Congress decide. You know that if he talked to the leaders in the House, to Pelosi and Schumer, and told them to back off because we need unity in the country, they would. And so he's not doing that. And you're right. There's some real radical agenda that he has there that I think in a short time and certainly over the years that he's in office, people are going to see how radical the Democrats' agenda and Biden's agenda are.
Do you think there's any areas of common ground where you think you can work with this administration? Have you seen any light in some areas that are important to you and important to the state of Arizona where you can work with them?
Yeah, and I put that out on social media that I certainly didn't support Biden and Kamala Harris's candidacy, and I don't agree with a number of their priorities. But as I do with all Democrats, where what I've done in the state legislature and in Congress, where there are areas that we can agree, I work with them. And so I try to be civil to everyone. I call them. I say hi to my Democrat colleagues in the hallways when I talk to them, because we need to work on things together for the betterment of not only the Arizonans, but all of America. And so there's some, for instance, the big tech. Big tech, I think there's monopolies. We saw that where they basically got rid of Parler, which was an alternative to Twitter. And so the Democrats believe that these big techs are too big of a monopolies. The Republicans think that too, but from a little bit different angle. They think that big tech is censoring the free speech of specifically conservatives. So we have a united concern just from different angles. So that might be an area that we can agree on.
All right. Well, it's always good to talk with you. I'm glad the experience at State Farm Stadium was a good one for your family, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you so much, Mike. You take care.
All right. Thank you. That is Congresswoman Debbie Lesko from here in the state of Arizona.